Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be learning about something called conditionals. Basically, checking for certain conditions in our code. Now, let's take a look at what that means. First, we have to look at what comparators are. They're basically like our greater than sign and our less than sign, right? There's a bit more. Our equal sign, which we're going to use double equals for, and our not equal to sign, which we're going to use exclamation mark equal to. Okay, and let's go over an example of all of those. Okay, so let's have three variables: x equals 7, y equals 11, z equals 11. Okay, let's print it out. First, let's check to see if x is greater than y. Okay? Then let's check to see if y is equal to z. Then let's check to see if z is less than x. Okay? And finally, let's check to see if x is not equal to y. Okay, now this might look a bit weird, but let's go over it one by one before we run the code. X is greater than y. X is 7, y is 11. 7 is greater than 11. That's false. Okay. Y, is it equal to z? Well, yes it is. They're both 11, so that would return true. Okay. Z is less than y. Z is less than x. I don't think that's right. 11 isn't less than 7, so that's going to return false. Finally, x is not equal to y. Well, yeah, it's not equal to y, so that's going to return true. Now let's run this and check. False, true, false, true. Now, before moving on, make sure you understand this. So if you still don't understand, go to the source code. There'll be a bit more examples and exercises that you can do. And of course, you can ask the Discord. That's another great resource for you to use. Okay? But for now, let's move on to the application of these comparators. Oh, and a really important thing, make sure that you, and I see this, a lot of people make this mistake. They say y is equal to z instead of y is double equals to z. Okay, know the difference. It's very important. You use the single equal sign when you're assigning something to a variable. Like we're assigning 7 to x. X is equal to 7. We're not assigning y to z, right? We're not saying y is equal to, well, I guess it is. That's not a good example. Why not we use x here, right? We're not assigning the value of 7 to y. We're just comparing the two. We're seeing is 7 equal to y. Is 7 equal to 11. That's why we're using y equals x, double equals. Okay? Now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to our if, elif, and else statements. Okay, so let's start. I'm just going to write out the basic framework of it, right? Just follow along. We're going to use the same variables up there, x, y, and z. We're going to do a few cool things with them, okay? If x is greater than y, right, we're going to print out x is greater than y. Mind blown. Okay, now the elif, right? What the elif is, right, is it's another condition that we're checking for. So this is a condition, right? If x is greater than y, it's in the name, right? We're checking to see if x is greater than y. If it is, whatever's underneath it, and remember, the colon is very important as well as the indent. If you don't indent it properly, like this, it'll give you an error. So that's why indentation is very important in most languages, actually in all languages. So make sure that you got your indentation down. Half the times you get an error in the code, it's usually because of your indentation. Now let's do if x is less than y. Okay. Print x is less than y. Mind blown. And now the else. And you might be wondering, why don't we have like a parentheses? Why aren't we checking for a condition with this else statement, right? Well, the reason why is because I like to call this our fallback statement, right? If everything goes wrong, if none of our conditions turn out to be true, right? And in this case, the only way that would happen is if x is in fact equal to y, right? Not greater, not less than. Then we're going to print x is equal to y, because that's the only possibility. Okay, so you usually wouldn't use this. You just say, oh, sorry, we couldn't check for any condition, right? We usually put this in another elif statement, but for this case, we're just gonna put it in an else statement. Now let's run this, okay? X is less than y. Is that true? X is 7, y is 11, 7 is less than 11, x is less than y. Let's make this 70 now. X is now greater than y, okay? Finally, let's make them equal to each other. X is equal to y. Pretty interesting, right? The last thing that I want to say about conditionals is using the and, or, and not statements. Now, what are these? These are using multiple booleans to return output. And let's show you what I mean by that. So right now, up here, we're checking if x is greater than y. Well, 70 is greater than 11, so that's true, right? But let's say we say and x is less than z, okay? So and basically means if both the first condition and the second condition is true, only then can you return true. Even if one of the conditions is false, right? Meaning if this was true and this was false, or this was false and this was true, then we would return false, meaning that this print statement wouldn't happen. So both of these conditions have to be true in order for the if statement to run. Okay? So x is greater than y? Yes. But x is not less than z, so x is greater than y would not run in this case. Okay? The next thing I want to show you is the or statement. Basically, this is the opposite. If even one of the conditions is true, then we can print this statement. And since x is greater than y is true, even if this one is false, we can still print out x is greater than y. Okay? Take a moment to understand that. Okay? The last thing is the easiest thing. If we say not x is greater than y, then what it's saying is that if this condition is true, then return false. If this condition is false, return true. It's like flipping them, right? It's the opposite of what the condition is. And since x is greater than y is true, therefore this would return false, meaning the print statement would not execute. Now, the reason why we use these if, elif, and else statements, and if you think about it, is because we're gonna take a lot of input from the user. I mean, think about it. Our first project is gonna be a quiz game. We're gonna ask them questions like, what is your name, for example, right? No, actually that's a bad example. What about, like your first question, let's say your quiz is about your favorite color. What is your favorite color? And then we'll have like an if statement, and the if statement will ask, for example, what is your favorite color? And we're going to store that in a variable. And you'll have a skill video on input later. We're going to store that in a variable, and we'll call it question 1, right? And then we'll do something like question 1. If question 1 is equal to red, then we'd say, that's my favorite color too, which it is. Let's say if question equal to blue, and the reason why it's red is because there's no variable called question. This is a hypothetical, of course. Let's say question equals to blue, which is my least favorite color. Don't judge. Then I'd say, ew, you're disgusting. And if your favorite color is blue, I don't think that. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. And then finally, else. Let's say they don't enter red, they don't enter blue. Then we'll just say, oh, that's a meh color. That's a meh color. Like, this is very basic, but you could make this quiz into something really interesting, in fact. And yeah, you can see why the if and the if statements are the backbone to many games. Either they be like a small quiz game or like Minecraft, Fortnite, whatever game you play. Okay? And yeah, that's basically it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the new mic quality, because I got a new mic. So if you can hear me better, please comment down below. I'm trying to still improve the audio, video quality. So just give me some time on that. And I'll see you, I guess, in the next workshop.